Hey guys, so today I wanted to bring you a different kind of video, sort of, that combines two of the things that I love the most, which is books and makeup. I probably have a makeup problem, to be honest. I collect a lot, which I shouldn't. I really shouldn't, because I've decided to pick the two most expensive hobbies that I could possibly find, which is book buying and makeup buying. But it's fine. This isn't a shame me for my makeup video. This is a books and makeup book tag thing. Did I say that? A makeup book tag. Wow. Why was that so difficult? I'm just gonna dive right in. And if I say basic answers, it's because it's actually really hard to come up with this stuff off the top of your head. And I thought about maybe sitting down to like read the questions and pick books for each one, but that would kind of eliminate the fun for me. So it's a casual Friday when I'm filming this, and I just want to put a little makeup on my face and talk about some pretty basic ass books. So the first question is for primer, to pick a book that left a lasting impression. Basic assness in full effect. I would say Twilight, to be honest. And I know that might seem like, what? Really? But for me, what it means in terms of lasting impression is a book that has... Twilight essentially opened a lot of doors for me. I was not the best in school. Like, basically a lot of things in my life changed once I read Twilight, so that's why I would think that left a pretty lasting impression for me. I also realized I'm supposed to be doing my makeup while I do this. So the first thing I do is I go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus 3-in-1 primer water. This is in the scent Rose. Yeah, and I just spray this on my face. But yeah, just before I really got into Twilight, I wasn't in a good place in life. I had a couple of friends that just weren't the best. She was a sweetheart, the friend I had, but, you know, we were both really bad at school, and we just kind of had this I don't give a fuck attitude. And then there was this group of girls that were reading Twilight, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll check out Twilight. It seemed, you know, vampires, romance, that seems cool. I also, after I go in with that Wet n Wild, I go in with the Pixi Skin Treats Glow Mist, because I'm really trying to glow out here. I have really super dry skin, so especially after the Canadian winter, it fucked my skin up. So I like to just make myself as dewy and glowy as possible. Once I read Twilight, I gravitated towards this group of girls that were all talking about Twilight because I wanted to talk about it. So it was really our mutual love for Twilight that got me into this new friend group, and all of them were super good at school. You know, like, this was the group of people that excelled. So it like lit a fire within me where I don't ever want to feel like... I felt a little out of place, I think, by not being good at school. So I really just decided to care, and I started to improve in school. My grades got better. I met some fantastic friends. One of those girls I'm still friends with today. So, you know, it was a beautiful story. And I think that I have a lot to owe Twilight when it comes to, you know, how my life ended up in middle school / high school. The next is foundation, and that is to pick your favorite first book in a series. Wow, that's a tough one that I kind of wished I had thought about. I did buy a new foundation that I want to try. When I bought this at Target while I was in the States, it said that it was like a brand for Latinas, made by Latinas. And I can't pronounce this. Is it Kai para mí? Kai para mí, right? Does that sound right? Anyway, this is the foundation. It looks pretty dark for me, so I'm a little nervous. Maybe I'm not as Latina as I think I am. I'm like a white-skinned Latina. And this is in the color Fair. So, I mean, I guess we'll find out just how fair that is. So, my favorite first book in a series. I'm just gonna pump some. Let's shake it. Pump some on the back of my hand. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Ooh, the undertones in this I don't know are gonna match me. These are very yellow undertones, and I feel like I'm more of a neutral undertone. But I could be completely wrong. Maybe this is my actual true shade in life, and I just need to accept it. This foundation says it's a natural finish, so we'll see about that. So my favorite first book in a series. I'm trying to think. You know what? This is going to cause problems because I know people don't like this book series. But when I read it, I freaking loved it. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. The first in her Grisha trilogy. I loved that book. And I loved that series when I read it. So, and I've just always been a fan of her world building, which is funny because I know some people read it and were like, you know, the world building just wasn't that good. It left a lot to be desired. But I really liked that first book. I liked Alina enough. I just like this, I don't know, usually in first books of a series, I don't like them because, especially in a fantasy, because it's a lot of, you know, let me hold your hand through all of this and, oh, that's pretty. Wow. Okay. I was really into the story and the way that the world worked, especially because she said it was based, or she got inspiration from like Russian fantasy, Russian folklore, which I've just always been interested in Russian folklore, like so much to the point where I said I was going to go visit Russia someday. And then in college, I actually took a Russian language class for like 3 years. I know how to say, my name is Alexandra and I like to read and write. That's what I know to say in Russian. This is actually really pretty. I really like that foundation. I don't know if it's a combination of the sprays that I used, but it looks a little dewy on me, doesn't it? It's very radiant. And this is like my actual shade. I also picked up that same brand's concealer, so we'll move on to the concealer question. Concealer is to pick a character you wish you could get rid of. From Cassie Clare's Queen of Air and Darkness, or from the like Dark Artifice series. Oh my god, what's her name? You guys know who I'm talking about, right? Oh, you guys know who I'm talking about. Zara? Is it Zara? So this is in the shade Nude from that brand. Again, I'm worried it's gonna be too dark for a concealer, but if I am gonna go in with a lighter one anyway, so this is okay. So yeah, who would I get rid of? Zara from the Dark Artifices series. Oh my gosh, this is so like, oh, what's happening? Oh, what's happening? I think it's burning my eyes. Proceeds to put it on eye. A lot lighter than I thought it was gonna be. Dude, is this burning me? Okay. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this concealer. It didn't really conceal anything. I'm gonna go in with my Jouer, what is this? High Coverage, Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer, and I'm in the shade Creme Cafe, sort of. This one is a little bit too light for me, but that's okay. But Mama needs a little more coverage because I have some intense dark circles. Okay. Heck yes. Okay. I talked about, right, the concealer Who Would I Get Rid Of, Zara from The Dark Artifices. She was a piece of shit. I can't believe she lived all the way to the last book. That was a riot. So the next one is powder. Pick your favorite last book in a series. Okay. So I go in with my RCMA no color powder. I've had this thing for years and I'm nowhere near using it up. So my favorite last book in a series. Oh, that's a good question. You know what? You know which one I really loved that like broke my heart and I cried almost through all of it? I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, is it another Cassie Clare book? Which, it does remind me that there is another Cassie Clare book I did cry in, but who didn't? Can you guess what that one is? But I'm not going to say that one, because I was actually thinking, oh my gosh, what's the last book called? The last book in the, Darkest Mind series. I didn't know that I didn't know that it was going to end like that. And then when it did, I was just sad. I was sad, and like I understood, but I was still sad. It was just... Ooh, can I answer 2? Because I have another one. Jessica Brody's young adult series. Not the one that she co-wrote. She has another one that's called her Unremembered series. I honestly thought it had different names. I thought it was like called Forgotten or something. Either way, it's her young adult series that is basically centers around a girl who her body was recovered at the scene of a airplane crash, and she has no memories of who she is. And it just leads into like this whole like scientist experimentation thing, and that she might have been some type of experiment, and things like that. The last book in that series, it killed me. Oh. I met the author before that last book came out, and we were talking about writing, as all writers who go see other writers do. We were talking about endings and how do you end a story, and I think I asked her something about like, you know, how did you know how you wanted to end your story? And she said to me, and this is what has stuck with me, she said, you want to give your readers the ending they want, but not in the way that they expect it. That has stuck with me through all my years of writing, especially when I look at how she ended her book in that trilogy, because that was literally what we wanted, just not in the way that we expected it. And that was her whole point. You know, you want to give readers that satisfying ending, but not in the way they expect it, so that way it packs more of a punch, right? So usually at this point I would do my eyes, but the next question's for eyebrows. So we'll jump. I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Definer, and I use the color Caramel. It's pick a book you think everyone should read. Oh boy. Okay. Where's my brow product? Hello? Oh, there it is. I think it depends who you talk to and like who are you recommending the book for, because, and I say this specifically because I am a person of color, so the book that I think everyone should read is a book by a person of color, but not only people of color will get it, but I think its impact is meant for people of color. So that's a tough one. Beluda by Melissa Lozada Olivia, collection of poetry that she has. I really, really freaking enjoyed that, and I would definitely recommend that poetry collection to other Mexicanos like myself or Mexican Americans. I think they would really appreciate that kind of story. But you know what else I would recommend for my Mexicanas out there or my Mexican Americans out there? Bless Me Ultima. I didn't realize that Bless Me Ultima, well, then again, I'm in Canada. I had to do a presentation, kind of like a mini thesis over what my novel was going to be about for grad school. And I mentioned that I got a lot of inspiration from Bless Me Ultima. The crowd where they were like, what? And I asked them, I was like, you guys have read Bless Me Ultima, right? And all of them shook their head. So a lot of people in Canada apparently have not read Bless Me Ultima, which is fine. It used to be required reading in the States. Then, so I had to read it for school, but I think it was like a couple years after that we had to read it, they took it off the required reading list because parents were complaining. So, all right, sorry for that abrupt cut. My phone started to ring and I was like, who the F is calling me while I'm trying to film? Up my brows, and I think I'm gonna put on a coat of brow gel. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Glossier Boy Brow Gel. It's just super good. I feel like I'm so in the mode of like Latinx people and like people of color like read these books that I don't think of a universal book. I'm gonna stick with my two answers because I honestly can't think of something that everyone could enjoy. It's a hard question because everyone's tastes are different, so I'm gonna stick with my two answers that I chose. So now we're on to the eyes. I'm just gonna take my sponge. I have powder in this cap, and then put that here. My eyeshadows are always kind of a hot mess. I think they look good to me, and then I see myself in a picture or on video and I'm like, wow, it actually looks like shit, but it's fine. That's my aesthetic, is shit looking eyeshadow. I did just want to make this look a little more natural looking, or neutral, I guess, bronzy. So I'm going to use two palettes here to help me out with that. I'm going to use the Morphe X Kathleen Lights palette. I bought this when it came out. And this is pretty much the only palette I have, like full-fledged, full-on palette, because it's everything I use on my eyes. Like, these colors are literally all I do for my eyes, besides this green. I actually have never used this green, but I want to. I'm just scared. Dip into that, and then we'll go a little bit into the Huda Beauty Topaz Obsessions. I do already have a video on my channel where I do create a look with this palette. So if anyone's curious, I super love this. Again, these are all the colors I would wear. And this shade here is just, I'm so sorry if my video of makeup triggers you because I only use like 2 eyeshadow brushes. Eyeshadow is to pick a book that has your favorite colors on the cover. So I guess I've pretty much outed myself because I said that I love like bronzy colors, which is true, and I would show you the book, but it's currently holding this tripod up. But With the Fire on High is basically by Elizabeth Acevedo. I talked about it in my May wrap up. That is basically like, I love that cover. It has the color scheme that I love. So I would definitely pick that. I like things that are like burnt red or a burnt orange and like bronzy. I like gold covers, so like King of Scars. I love that cover too because of the gold. So I think that's my aesthetic, is like the gold, which is funny because that's not my favorite color. If you want to know what my favorite color is, it's actually not a burnt color or a bronzy color. My favorite color is actually 2 colors because I'm the queen of can't decide and can't choose. I love blue and purple a lot. I hope you guys know I'm totally not thinking about what I want to do in terms of eye look. I'm literally just going in. We're freeballing it here. Do you ever have like that one eye that just doesn't, it just doesn't blend or pick up color as well as your other eye does? Please tell me I'm not the only one that this happens to, because this eye is a pro. It'll pick up that color, and then when I do this, it'll blend out perfectly. This other eye, however, just like can't function, and I kind of relate to that. So now I'm gonna go in with this top shade here. Can you tell I was meant to be a beauty guru? Can you tell? I have to like remind myself, Alex, just shut up and do your eye makeup. No one watching this actually cares what you're using and what you're doing. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Anyone have any good like eyelid primer recommendations for me while we're on the subject of eyes? You know, I'm a dry ass bitch, but the one part of me that is oily as fuck are my eyelids. And I'm like, how is it possible that the rest of me is so freaking dry? And my eyelids are just like, hey, what's up? I'm an oily bitch. I'm like, okay. Live your life. Live your oily life while I'm on a dry desert. For anyone who actually cares about what I'm doing to my eyes, I'm going to put this sparkly shade on my lid. And I just do that with my finger. Whitney from Whitney Novels does this. Sometimes in her vlogs she'll show that she's doing her makeup, and I don't know what it is, but I just love the eye makeup look she does every time. And she's like, it's so simple, and I just do this and that, and I'm like, okay, but I do the same and it doesn't come out like that. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, Whitney. I said I wanted to go with a natural look, and I wanted and then I do all this. I'm always doing looks like this because it's just so pretty, especially on green eyes. Oh, I love it. And it's just easy. Like, let's be real. It's not because I think it flatters my eyes. It's because it's easy. This powder. See, look, and now we're just extra bright down here. So eyeliner's the next one. I don't normally mess around with eyeliner. I ain't about that life. And I did notice that this list of questions doesn't have an option for bronzer. So, eyeliner question for a bronzer one. Where is my brush? Oh. So, we're gonna dip into our bronzer, cream bronze. I just dipped into cream bronzer and tried to tap off the excess. Come to the realization, I'm fat. Which means, before y'all get like, what? Like it's some big fucking surprise. That means that my face, I feel like my face and my shape is a little too big for contouring. Yeah, I just have a ginormous face, and like doing shit like this, it ends up just looking like a mark on my face. Okay, a dark and mysterious book. Can I list one I haven't read yet because I want to, and I think it's like marketed as a dark and mysterious book, and I totally want to read it. Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan? I want to read that so bad. I'm actually going to the bookstore this weekend, and I completely plan to buy that. It looks dark and mysterious and creepy and weird, and I want all of it. So, right? So I think I need to give up on this dream that I can contour until I lose like another 20 pounds. Realistically 50 pounds, but it's fine. A powder bronzer now, which I use the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is just their bronzer shade. See, that looks a little better to me. Because once I put that powder on, I feel like my whole life just comes together. Now we're on to mascara. So for mascara, I'm going to use the Kiko Extra Sculpt Volume Mascara. This is a little old, so hopefully it has enough juice. And for mascara, it's Pick a long book. A Discovery of Witches is also really freaking long, and it took me a whole month to read it. Granted, I was in school still when I was trying to read it, so like, I guess that's kind of an excuse for why it took me all month. It's to 500, like over 500 pages long. But I freaking loved it. Like, it never felt like there was unnecessary things in all that 500 pages. It actually felt like, hey, we need all this. I got it on the bottom. No! I love this mascara, but I noticed I have a trend of loving mascaras that are extremely wet. Oh, fuck, I got it on my eyeshadow. So blush is to pick a book that has a cringe-worthy romance. Few options here for blush. I have the NARS blush in Orgasm, which is always nice. I also have this Burt's Bees blush in Toasted Cinnamon. I used this in my other Get Ready With Me on my channel and freaking love it. I also have this LA Girl Just Blushing blush. This is in Just Glowing. I like this. It has a very nice sheen to it. Let's do LA Girl. Romance. I mean, does cringeworthy have to be like negative? It could be good, right? Like a good book we liked. You know what had a cringe-worthy romance? Emergency Contact. What's her name? Mary H.K. Choi. I think that's how you say her last name. Which is funny. A lot of people on BookTube talked about that book and like, oh, it's gonna be so great. And then no one actually reviewed it because maybe it was sponsored post. So you didn't want to talk about it. I don't know. I don't know the tea with that, but it was not a good book. It's like trying too hard to be edgy and to be like, it felt like, you know when moms do that when they're like, oh, I'm just trying to be in and hip with cool kids these days. That's what it felt like the romance I was reading. And I was like, this is so cringe and so bad and not healthy. And while I just pulled up my Goodreads because I stumbled upon Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which was book number 1 in the Covenant series. That was a good first book. If I can just pull it back to the foundation question on your favorite first book in a series, that one was really, really good. I would highly recommend that series. If you liked the Vampire Academy series, I think you'll like this series. They're very similar, and there was some controversy about that, how similar they were to each other. Honestly, they start very similar. Like book 1 will seem very similar to the first book in the Vampire Academy series. But as you continue the series, they're totally not the same. And the Covenant series is really good. It's like, if you like Greek gods, it's basically like the Greek gods version of Vampire Academy. So no vampire. And for highlighter, what I want to use, I know I've used this on my channel. The Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder, and this is in a shade. Oh, Crown of My Canopy, which is like a pinky highlighter. I'm feeling a little pinky. So my phone was about to die. I have no idea where I left off. All I know is we're doing highlighter now. And I'm trying to think of a book that brightened my day. Shit. I'm a sad bitch 24/7, so if I can think of one book that brightened my day, and that's also one that destroyed me emotionally, I can't get this book out of my head, you guys. Daisy Jones and the Six, okay? There, I said it. Here, I'll come up with another one, just for the sake of not saying Daisy Jones again for like the 4th video in a row. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I haven't even finished it yet, but like every time I'm listening to it on audiobook, and every time that I put it on to listen to it, I just have this smile on my face the entire time that I'm listening to it. Funny and just ridiculous. So I'm taking that Wet n Wild highlighter, and I like to drag them all the way down to my cheek. Like, it complements this blush really well too. And just because I'm extra, I'm still gonna go in with this ColourPop highlighter. This, if you look back onto my videos on here, I did a Chatty Get Ready With Me, and I did use this there. This is the best, the best highlighter ever. It applies best with my finger, honestly, so I think I'm gonna do that. Oh my gosh. Like, just makes you look wet. Oh my god. Look at my nose. Couple pages left in the Honeymooners. I'm almost done with it. I think I have like another hour to go. But it's probably honestly going to be like a 4.5 if not a 5-star, depending on how the last hour goes. But I'm super enjoying it. It's enemies to lovers and fake dating in one book, and that's all I wanted in life, to be honest. And I didn't even know I wanted that until I started reading this book. And the last one is lipstick. And for that, the question is to pick your favorite book kiss. I'm gonna go in with the NYX Lingerie liquid lipstick in Exotic. For favorite book kiss, I'm actually gonna mention a recent read that I did talk about in my May wrap up. And if you haven't watched it, I'll leave it linked in the description box because I don't know how to leave it linked up above at all. So that's fun. The Abyss Surrounds Us, the romance there between our main character and one of the other pirate people on the enemy ship. I really loved the romance, the sapphic romance that's in The Abyss Surrounds Us between Cassie and Swift. It's definitely like a slower build. It is like an enemies to lovers situation, and have a beautiful and steamy kiss together. It was just so good, especially in the heat of the moment that it was in. Oh, it was so good. That was definitely one of my favorite kisses that I've read in a really long time. So shoot, I forgot to set everything, which by the way, there's no question here for setting spray. Hello. I'm gonna make one right now. Question 12 for setting spray. What's your favorite book trope? Honestly, I think anything enemies to lovers. I think that's my ultimate. Like, fake dating's good, and I do love the Honeymooners because it does have both enemies to lovers and fake dating. But if I had to just pick one of those tropes to be like my ultimate favorite, enemies to lovers is just so good. And when it's done right, 10 out of 10. Think of The 100. The show, not so much the book. I'm like okay with the books. They're not my favorite, but the show. Okay, can we talk about The 100, please? If you watch it, comment down below and let's discuss. If you're caught up to date, especially, let's discuss. But like, Belark needs to happen. That needs to be endgame. Clark and Bellamy from season 1 when he wanted to freaking kill her, and then just their growth and how they became leaders together and all for their people. And oh my god, I just love them so much. And think about it, we've gone through 6 seasons and they haven't gotten together. The Belark fandom in The 100 fandom is just like, we're thirsting, okay? And we're hanging on by a freaking thread for them to just get together. They got approved for another season, and I'm just like, yo, what are you guys gonna do? Because season 6 is looking a lot like seasons, what, 2, 3, and 4? So, like, y'all need to come up with some new ideas or something. Maybe, I don't know. Watch, something's gonna end up happening to this new planet, and they're gonna end up having to, like, colonize underwater. I'm okay with this being the next season so long as there's mermaids. I went in, by the way, I didn't even mention it. I went in with the L'Oreal Shake and Glow Lumi Dew Mist. I've only used this twice, but every time that I've used it, I've freaking loved it. My makeup just ends up looking so glowy. I feel powerful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Honestly, I tag anyone who's watching this. I love watching these because obviously I love to hear you guys talk about books, but I also love to hear you guys talk about makeup. I'm a makeup fanatic. I love learning about new makeup. This foundation from this new brand, I really enjoyed this foundation. Super good. The concealer, not my favorite, but if you don't have massive dark eyes or dark circles like I do, and you like more of a radiant finish, like a dewy finish, not so much a matte concealer, you might really enjoy this. I tried to throw in some like older books that I've read, but honestly it's really hard to do this tag and think about all the books that I've read in the past. I recalled some books that make me want to go back and reread them, so maybe I'll do like a massive reread month and vlog that experience for you guys. I don't know. Maybe I'll still rate them the way that I rated them, or they'll be less. But anyways, talk to me in the comments. I want to make friends with you guys. Let's talk makeup. Let's talk books. Let's talk about the 100. Oh my god. I gotta go, because if I keep thinking about the 100, I'm gonna combust. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.